morning, everybody. Wednesday. It is Saturday. Light it up. 10 a.m. We're back. Who-Bangin Sports Talk. Man, I'll tell you, I set this thing for 5 after 10, thinking I have myself an extra 5 minutes to chill. And I always am down to the last minute, no matter what time I start these things. I could have put it on at noon and I'd be late. It's just one of those things, man. You always seem to be capping to the end. But we are back. It is Saturday. It is 4th of July weekend. We're off a couple of big days. The show's been doing pretty good. So we'll try to keep it up, man. It's, like I said, 4th of July weekend. And we have a lot of baseball, a lot of plays, a lot of betting, and a lot of money to be won. So that's what we're all about today. And it wouldn't be a light it up if we didn't have, for the first time actually, but a good friend, a great guest, and somebody I'm sure you guys will enjoy, and just a great guy to have on Light It Up. And that's our man Marley from Marley Bets. Welcome in, Marley.
Hey, what's going on, Dommy? It's
What's
good,
happening,
man.
my
Happy
brother?
to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Yes, man. Yes, man. This is good. I was on Marley's show for the first time last Friday, and we had a blast, and we're going to
You
try to
tweeted,
do
by
this
the way.
more and more. You know, it's like one of those things on this, with the whole social media and the whole internet and this whole betting thing that we've all become a part of, this whole group. Me and Marley have known about each other for years, but we've never really collaborated. And you know how things go, man. Schedules, different groups, different things, but sooner or later, the cream always comes to the crop, and we're
Yes,
together.
sir.
So that's good, brother.
Happy to be here, my brother.
Yeah,
First
man.
of many. First of many appearances.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So 4th of July weekend, you guys ready for us? Got a couple things going on with the kids?
So we did the beach yesterday, actually.
Right.
I'm kind of one of those get in before everybody gets in kind of
right.
guys.
That's
Beat the
right.
crowd. So we did the beach yesterday, and then I'm huge on Little League football because I got 4 boys.
Okay.
So I coach and all that. We're doing the whole setting up a booth, barbecuing, giving out plates and fireworks.
Okay, so
and all
you
the
guys
things
have started
we do.
already with your football?
Oh, we don't
Have you-
stop. We're in Texas.
Oh, okay, but
It goes.
that's
It
the
just
answer.
goes.
That's the correct answer to give me.
Yeah, it just goes. It doesn't stop.
We don't stop. We keep on going. How
Yeah,
old are
it
the
just
kids?
goes. I got my
You
my
remember?
oldest. Yeah. My oldest is done. He's 19, but I got
Okay.
14, and then my little leaguers are 8 and 7.
Oh, okay. So you got the 2 little ones coming up the ranks. So that's
Right,
good. Did,
right,
did the
right.
older ones play also?
Yeah, I'm already a 10-year vet little league coach.
All right, good. So and listen, that usually helps too. The younger ones, you know, the older ones started. Now the younger ones, you know, start feeding off of that. And
The baby
who
is
knows,
going to be
man?
the best.
Yes, yes, yeah. We're waiting for. So we got what 10 years before we could go to an NFL game with them.
Yeah. Hey, when we're up in New York, you got tickets.
Yes, yes, yes. That's great. All right, man. We have. So how's your betting been going the last couple days? Good.
Oh, so what's today? Today's Saturday.
Today is Saturday.
Thursday swept the board,
Yes.
3-0. And then, Friday swept the board. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thursday
Yesterday.
swept the board 3-0.
Right.
Yesterday, 1-2-1, I think.
Right.
So not a good day yesterday. Overall, if I remember correctly, I'm like 14-7-1 on MLB so far.
Okay, so your head is above water.
Yeah.
Like,
We're swimming good right now.
yeah, that's great. And like you said, you told me like baseball isn't your biggest sport. Football really
It's
is.
not my business, but I love it. I've been capping
Yeah.
it for a while now.
Yeah,
but
it's
not
a great
my-
sport to cap.
It's a great sport. I love it.
Yeah, me too. I love it too.
It's
I've been
probably
over-
my most profitable sport, even
Yes.
though it's not my best sport.
Yeah. For me, it's MLB is the. If I could have MLB all year long, I'd be a happy camper. I got to learn how to start maybe. Well, we'll see how it goes, but maybe increasing my unit size during MLB. Then I've been keeping it the same for the last. I've been raising it little by little every year over the years, but I've been keeping it the same. But baseball's been such the better sport that Sometimes I feel like I should be betting more on that and less on something else, but
Yeah, I
that
hear
doesn't
you.
work for me, man. I'm a 1 unit guy. I try to keep things to 1 unit. If anything, I'll bet a half a unit before I'll bet 2 units.
I'm
Like,
I'm I'm
yeah,
the exact same way.
yeah,
Coach
man.
is the complete opposite. They'll bet 15 units on one game.
Yeah, that's not the way to go, man. I don't, I think it's proven out that that's really not the way to go. But then again, you know
Yeah.
what? There's a lot of different ways, and a lot of different people, are successful in different
Yep.
ways. A lot of it depends on how much money you have too, and how much of a big
Right.
bankroll you have. I mean, we
Bankroll is
can
always
we
key.
can play minus 175 favorites that are profitable over the course of the year, but do we have that bankroll to keep on
Do you have
banging
that
out
bankroll?
175? Because
Right.
you're only going to have a 5-6% ROI by the end of the year. So that's a lot of plays, and a lot of money held up before you get it back.
Right.
So a lot of times it depends on bankrolls. People don't realize that, man. And this whole notion is of, and I see it in the chat sometime, and
Hey, Swiss, you're
ex- excuse me.
completely 100% right. Swiss Horton,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
coach aggressively bets.
Yep, yep. I mean, I see it in the chat sometimes. Someone's like, first of all, I don't believe people when they start saying, I'm just that way I am. I don't really believe that anybody that bets $1,000 a game, and yes, there's a plenty of those people. I'm sure aren't one of them, but those people that bet big numbers like that, they ain't on these chats. They're not on these shows, and if they are, they're not telling you how much they're really betting. And people that bet high amounts are more secretive than us that bet smaller amounts. Trust me,
Yeah.
in the
Well,
long run.
so in coach's defense, coach doesn't. It's not done in that manner. Like coach, it'll start with like a $200 bet, and
Uh huh.
then he wins, and then a four hundred
Yep.
dollar bet.
No,
He
I got it.
wins,
I
and
got
then
that.
an
I got that.
$800 bet.
Uh
So
huh.
it's the same 200 that started, and he
Right.
just runs it
He
up.
just tries to run it, and that's like I said, that's not a bad way to go. And if you got the
I'm
money,
I'm personally
you
not
know,
good with that strategy,
no, me
but
either. Me either.
I'm a unit, half unit,
Uh huh.
2 unit kind of guy. That's like a max bet every now and again. But
Right.
I'm a volume better too, though.
Yeah. No, I got,
Coach,
and
no,
I didn't mean
we're
him
not
specific. I
volume
just
better.
mean in general. I just mean in general when people are talking.
Yeah, the majority of people are
Yeah,
bullshitters. I don't
and
buy
then
it.
and then I don't also buy when I hear a host saying, "Oh, Marley, you're betting $1,000 on this game. Oh, I'm gonna have to tell you my lousy $50 bet. I mean, like what the hell does that have to do with it? Does it make you better than me because you got more money?
Right.
Like you could bet
It just
that
means
kind of
you have
money a
more
game.
money.
It's because you got it. I mean,
Right.
believe me, I wish I could bet 500 a game. I wish I could bet 200 a game, but I don't.
Right.
So that's where I'm at really with that statement. Like I just don't trust these people that talk about the amounts that they bet when they're big amounts, and I also don't subscribe to the theories that because you are betting more than me, that you know more than I do. I'm just
Right.
using me as
Right.
an
Right.
example. I'm just saying,
Who's
not me
that? OG
personally,
Wham? What up, Wham?
but that's where I'm at. So let's go to the comments there. I didn't have it clicked on because I heard you say my man Wham. What's up, OG Wham? That's my boy right there. How are you,
Nice
buddy?
guy.
Viral Video, Swiss Horton. Thank you, man. Thanks for coming in. And yeah, listen, that theory of running it up is a pretty good theory. I know my boy
Yeah.
Parlay Teese, who I'm close with. I'm a good friend with. We talk a lot. He loves those open parlays, and which a lot of books don't even take them.
I'm
The
kind of
books that
partial to him
the
too.
the books I use, I don't have them. I use BetUS and BetOnline mostly for baseball, and they don't have the open parlays. But the open parlay theory is not a bad one, man, because that's not a bad one at all. You know how parlays are; they're such a bad bet. But
Right.
when you have it open, though, that I think that leads to less volatility if you can
Yeah.
leave it open to the
I
next
I
day.
like the open.
Yeah,
I don't do
that's not a
parlays a
bad
lot
way,
anymore. I
right?
was one of the guys that started though. I was like
Yeah, a
parlay
lot of us
crazy for
did,
like
bro.
2 years
Yeah, a lot of us did. A lot
till
of
I
us did.
finally just was like, all right, this is
till we
not
learn
profitable.
till we
Yeah.
learn that you're supposed to be getting 4-1 on or something like that on a 2-team parlay, but the books are lucky you're getting 2.5-1, and that's what happens. A 3-team parlay, you're supposed to be getting 7-1 on your money. You're lucky if you get 4-1.
Right.
So, but we all done that with parlays. We all still play parlay. I do it for fun. So
Right.
that's the way it goes. But anyhow,
Galactic High, what up, my guy? I see you.
they always sound good when you play them, right? The
They
parlays, they
sound
always look good.
fantastic.
They always look
I
good.
got a motto. My motto for parlay is one too many.
Yeah. And another if I lose the first leg of the parlay, I know the second one's going to win. I just know it.
I just do one too many. That's my motto. No matter what number it is, it's always one too many. You can do a two-teamer, but it's going to be one too many.
Yeah, exactly. One too many could be a theory on a lot of things, right, bro?
Thanks.
That's for sure. All right, let's get started here.
Let's go.
With some Saturday baseball. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 plays.
Okay.
Thursday show. Let me just go quickly. Lester, the show record, I believe, unofficially now is 26-14. Since I started, might be my fifth. I believe this is my 5th week of Saturdays. What's more surprising than the record is that I've done it 5 weeks in a row. That's the real surprising part, that I made it every Saturday and every Thursday. But Thursday I had a great day. I had the Marlins end the game under 9 against the Red Sox. That Marlins bet, man, that money moved all day long, back and forth. But I took the Marlins, and I'll tell you, that's one of the games too that the money went against me, the lines went against me, and it does a lot. And that's why I'm not the biggest money split guy, because every time I could point out a lot of instances where the line moves against me and I win. So I'm not the biggest money line split. I know some of us are more than others, but I also had the Angels over on Thursday, and that was 3 wins, and I lost with the Cubs team total. Yesterday, another nice day, 3-1. Reds team total over 4.5. I lost on the Cubs' first 5, so that's 2 days in a row. I had Cub bets and lost. I had Tampa minus 130, they won, and Pittsburgh team total over 3.5, they won. Now the Tampa game that opened at minus 140 yesterday. That game got bet down to minus 120.
Yep.
And everybody was jumping, going against Tampa. Not me. I stick with my. I'm not getting off a bet because of a money of a money split. That's for sure.
Right.
If I might stay off a game maybe, but I'm not changing my bet. That's for sure. I'm not buying out of a bet. That's for sure. So there
gotta
you
trust
go.
your cap. I never buy out of bets.
Yeah. Nope. It is what it is. You take. It is what it is.
I don't like that hedge shit. I'm either I want to win. I don't want to fucking hedge.
Yeah,
That's
and
just
that
me,
hedge
though.
thing too. Sometimes, even when you're on a game, and it happens sometimes with totals. Like you say, you play it over 8, let's say, for some reason, and the first couple innings, bunch of runs are scored, and by the 4th inning, they got a total listed as like 11. Now you could play that under 11, and then you got a middle of 8 and 11. But I don't want. But that 8 now is just about guaranteed. I don't want to give that up and not win and just push for the day if it doesn't go over. If it doesn't, you know what I'm saying. So hedges sound another thing like parlays. Hedges sound better than they are.
Fuck it.
Anyhow,
I take my L on my dub.
there was some lines I did not have this morning when I started capping, and for some reason I don't know why that is until I turned on, like, for instance, they had the Yankee game listed as Cole versus Flaherty. Now it's Severino.
Right.
Cole
I
ain't
saw
pitching.
Severino.
Yeah,
You might have
I
been
had
up
Cole
before me.
listed, so I didn't touch that game. There was a couple games that I didn't have lines for. I tell you, I cap in the morning. I cap early in the morning. I'm not a believer. I know that this is against really the rules, if there are certain rules. I don't cap the first line. I'm not looking to jump on the first line. I'm not so concerned on getting the best number. I do better with reading how the lines are going. I do better with seeing what happened the night before. I don't look at every game individually like a lot of guys do. They don't even care what happened yesterday. They cap every game individually. I know our friend Jimmy the Bag tries to do that. He cap, and it works for him, but it don't work for me. I need to know what happened. I think that has a lot to do with what happened yesterday. It has to do with today. I think teams play different teams, different divisions, night, day. I think all that stuff matters, man. And so that's how I cap it. So I don't cap till early in the morning. And again, getting back to the money, I'm not betting enough money where I'm concerned that you got a minus 115 and I had to pay minus 120. I'm not concerned about that.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm not too concerned about that
Yeah,
neither.
but and I understand that if you're betting big numbers, you should be concerned about because that shit adds up at the end of the year, you know.
Yeah,
But for our
yeah.
purposes, if you're betting, just let's just keep $100 as a general number. I mean,
Right.
is it if and depending if you're betting risk or win, that's another conversation. But listen, if you're betting the game, if you lost 120 or you lost 115, you still lost 115, right? It really didn't matter if you would have lost another
Right.
$5.
You
Yes,
still
it
lost.
adds up, but you know how it goes. Mally Mal in the house. What's up, Mally? Old school OG
What up,
Mally
Mal?
Mal. Trying to get Mally
No, I ain't seen
on the
that name in a
camera.
long time.
Trying to get that Mally Mal on the camera with me one of these days. My New York brethren here. We got to get him on camera. But good to see you, Mally. Galactic High. Julian, thanks, guys, for coming in. All right,
You
let's
like
get
the
started.
Padres?
He likes the Padres. The first game up is the Padres-Cincinnati. I'm not on either one of those games, but are you?
I'm not neither.
You're not on either one of
No,
those
I'm
games?
not neither. I wanted to. I will say this.
I'll
It's
give
the
you a little
Padres
something
Reds,
on
right?
that. What was that?
Is it the Padres Reds?
It's the Padres against the Reds. Michael Wacha, his first
Right,
first
Wacha's
outing back from an injury
Yeah.
against Williamson, who's not the greatest Reds
Right.
of the Reds pitchers, but yes, that's who's pitching. What he say he bet? He bet -1. He said.
Yeah, Padres -1.
Oh
I
yeah.
get it,
So,
Walker, but fuck, man,
Yeah.
Padres bats are just they don't swing enough for me.
Padres and the Mets, the two disappointing. I call the Mets the Padres of the West, the Mets the Padres of the East, and the Mets the Padres of the West because those two teams I think they mirror a lot. Their pitching staffs are supposed to be better. They have the offensive power that's just not hitting. Two disappointing teams that should be doing a lot better. That's for sure. As far as the
Yeah.
Mets, I could go on a rant forever.
I know
won't
you
do that.
could.
We won't do that today. But and I don't get the -1 line. I'm not a big fan of the -1 line. I gotta say, it's a debate I've had. I mentioned Jimmy the Bag before. It's a debate
Right,
we've
Jimmy
had
takes
before. Yeah, it's a debate we've had before. I just don't like the line. I think you're leaving money on the table. Bet the damn run line or bet
Right.
the game to win.
My man will run line.
That
Hey,
that's
Swiss.
like
I
I said,
haven't really
if it
done a lot
works.
of art. My bad, Dom.
Go ahead.
I'm just looking at Swiss's comment
ahead.
over here, and I'm like, I haven't really bet a lot of art lines though, to be honest with you. So I
From
can't
what
really tell you.
I never play an alternate line. Number one, number two, buying. From what I've heard from guys that are a lot more knowledgeable than me, that in buying lines is as far as like a EV, type of thing is never a positive EV to buy a line. But I don't know. I don't really know. Like, what are you looking to do? You're looking to use what game you're looking at that you're talking about that anyhow about doing that, and what's the lines? I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start with that. To be honest with you, I don't want to tell you something Swiss that that I don't know, and
Yeah,
I don't buy lines, and I don't do all that. I think
I
I
don't
think we
buy
make it
lines
too
either.
complicated, man. I think sometimes we make handicapping too complicated, and we
It's not
make
crazy.
ourselves crazy, man. So whatever. Anyhow, let's see what else. The
Yeah, I
next
don't buy
game up is
lines
the
in baseball. I
Yankees.
really don't think I even buy lines in football or basketball. But yeah,
Yeah,
not big on
yeah.
buying.
I know a guy that would always if he sees a three and a
Nah, my
half
favorite
line in
Yankees is stuff.
football, he just buys it to 3 every time. But I don't know,
Buys a
man. You're
half
paying
point.
a lot of juice for
Yeah,
that
I know
half.
people that buy the half.
Yeah, yeah. So are you on the
Yeah,
next game? New
I
York
don't know.
against Severino? Are you on that game?
I
St.
am not
Louis
on that
against the
Severino
Yankees?
game.
No, the only thing
No
I can tell you
sir.
about that game, guys, is I think both of these teams are going to be teams that are going to do better in the second half. I think the Cardinals are hitting the ball. They're scoring a lot of runs. They were scoring a lot of runs during their losing streak. I think they're going to have a better second half. And if you look at the Yankees last week or two, they started figuring it out. It seems to me that
Did they
and I'm in New
though? I
York.
mean, they played the A's.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but my point is the Yankees are starting to hit the ball. They beat Texas Rangers at home, and then they went to
They
Oakland.
did.
So they have been
You're
hitting
right.
the ball
You're right.
better.
You're right.
My theory is that when they found out that Judge was not coming back so quickly, the team was waiting for Judge, and now that they know they're not going to have him for a while, if they're lucky, if they
Right.
get him back in September, from the way I'm looking, what I'm hearing in New York, and I think that might have helped the team a little bit. They're pitching a little bit better. They had that perfect game. Yes, it was against Oakland, but still 27 up, 27 down. Man, you can't take that away from a pitcher just because of who they played.
It's
You
impressive.
know, that's for
Yeah, you
sure.
can't.
But I agree with
You
you.
can't.
It's a lot easier to pitch that game against Oakland than it is against the Blue Jays, for sure. For sure. But anyhow, that's my theory on those two teams. I'm going to be doing a show about the first half of baseball and what we've seen, what surprises and what stuff that's happened, and then we're going to do talk about the second half. We did it last year and have some predictions and some things like that. We'll stay tuned for that. Next game up, Boston Red Sox against Toronto. Now that's a game I am on. How about you? You on that Boston
Yes,
game?
I am on the game.
All right, talk to us
Yes,
about
I
that.
am. Blue Jays, and Red Sox.
Yes.
So
Cutter Crawford against Kikuchi.
against Kikuchi, which is crazy how good
Yeah.
Kikuchi is doing this year because last year, if I'm not mistaken, Kikuchi was a
Yep.
fade. But,
It was fade Kikuchi day.
He's pitching phenomenal right now. 72, 3.75 ERA. Last three starts, win 2 decisions. Last start went 7, only gave up 1. Start before that went 6, didn't give up nothing. And real start in his third start, he went 4, gave up 2. I don't typically like to pay this price for a money line. It's at minus 160. I kind of like minus 150 is normally where I stop it at. But in this case, the way not only am I just going to ride Kikuchi, Cutter has not been performing the best. 4.01 ERA, 2-4. His last 3 starts, lost, win, no decision. Last start went 6, gave up 4 to the White Sox. Had a decent start before that, went 5, gave up nothing, but then got smashed against Colorado. Only went 4 and gave up 4. So not only am I riding with Kikuchi, I'm fading Cutter. If I'm not mistaken, let me flip to my notes really quick. But like the Blue Jays are like 12-4 over like the last 16, something like that over like the last 16, 17 games. I'll pull it up here in a second. But I'm riding with Kikuchi on this one.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm kind of on the same way. Cutter Crawford's last 3, 15 innings pitched, 4.80 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, 14 Ks, 2 home runs. Where Kikuchi's last 3, 17 innings pitched, 1.53 ERA, a WHIP of 0.79. When you see those WHIPs under 1, that's something I mentioned just about every show. A 1.20 is a decent WHIP, and which walks and hits per inning. That's what WHIP is, walks plus hits per inning. So when you see 1.20, that's decent. But when you see under 1, they're letting up under 1. That's under 1 walk hit per inning. That's good. And Kikuchi has a 0.79 with 21 Ks and 2 homers in his last 3 starts. You mentioned Cutter Crawford, that game against the White Sox, 6 innings, 4 earned runs, 2 of them the homers, against a White Sox team who doesn't hit righties that well to begin with, and they got to Crawford. Whereas far as the Blue Jays, they're better than league average. They're in the top 15, whether it's 12, 13 ranking. They're in that area. With team OPS, with isolated power, with weighted runs created. They're all in those top offensive analytics. They're in the top 15. So they're a little bit better than, half of the league. And that's in the last 30 days. And I just, something bothered. I don't bet over minus 140 like you said, you don't go over
Yeah.
150. I really don't go over 140. This line is ballooning now. Now I'm seeing a 160, 165. I went the other way. I took the team total. Let me see here. I took, yes, Blue Jays team total over 4.5 for the game, minus 120. I think they could
I
get a
like it.
couple runs off of Crawford,
Yeah,
and
you can
then
get
we'll
2
see what
off Crawford.
happens. Malley said that he was thinking about the over. Yeah, I mean, not a bad play. If it's still at 9, Marley. I mean, Malley and Marley.
Let
If
me
it's
check
still
that
at
real quick. I got it up.
yeah, if it's still at 9, I would take it, Mal, for sure. 9.5. You know me, I don't. That's when I would just leave it alone. But yeah, I would take a shot at that. At that side. I mean, Kikuchi is due for a little bit of a roughing up. He's pitched well, and it's something that actually it's something I learned about 5 years ago from my boy Noli Knows, is that when you see these pitchers with 3 and 4 games
Noli.
that they're pitching on point, they they're gonna throw a bad one in there. You don't always be so
Right.
sure they're gonna just keep on going. So I try to use that a
Right.
little bit in my cap. Good morning, Don. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. So me and you are basically on the same wavelength. I took the team total over, and you took the Blue Jays to win. So that's
I might
beautiful.
double back on that team total over. I like
Yeah.
that.
And just for full disclosure, me and Marley didn't really, as always, we're doing shit last minute. So we didn't discuss really the games that we're on and what plays we're on. So that's, which I like doing. I like, because I don't mind that you said, no, well, I like Boston and this is the reason why. And,
Right.
sometimes it's good when you disagree, man. People on the same show don't always have to agree,
I agree
so
100%.
so if you agree with that, right?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
All right, man.
100%.
So let's
Some
go,
is
man. We're
better
both
than
on the
what you
Blue
think.
Jays in some fashion. Let's get that game home. The next game up on the board, and there's another game that I'm on. It's the Houston Texans. I mean, the Houston Texans. Wow, you got football in my
Yeah.
brain.
You got football?
Houston
Yeah,
Astros
we're not
against.
there yet.
I got Houston Astros against the Texas Rangers. Is the next game I got up on my board. And do you have a play on this game?
I don't, but
Go ahead.
those are my Astros.
Go ahead, talk to me because I do have a play. So
as
let me see if we go.
So I stayed off this game, and I'm gonna tell you why. Moose, I did my show yesterday. Moose talked to me off of my Astros. He's taking the Rangers, and they hit yesterday, and I just feel like I missed it, And so
Good thinking.
I'm
Good
hesitant
thinking, man.
to flip on it. So
I don't blame you.
But you got Evaldi on the mound. He's been lights. He's been lights out. They got that win yesterday. I would be hesitant to take not to take. I feel like it's probably a Rangers day. After that yesterday, but since maybe the Cardinal series right before, Astros bats have been swinging, and
Yes.
you mentioned earlier the Yankees. Yankees touched up the Rangers. The Rangers haven't been playing the best, although I think they're one of the best teams in baseball. Them and the Braves.
Me too.
Me and Moose had this discussion yesterday.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm not sure what their record is off a loss, but I know it's damn good. The Rangers is.
Right.
So, but like I said, I feel like I missed it yesterday, so I didn't even cap it. I looked at it once I saw the Astros win. I was like, oh yeah, I'm not even looking at it tomorrow. So I didn't even play it.
I got you. Listen, I agree with you with the Astros. They seem to have been figuring out, again, another team that lost the big gun. Alvarez got hurt. It takes a while for these teams to. It's surprising how these teams get so screwed up by losing one player.
He didn't start the season.
Yes. So, and I think they figured out in the last few weeks they've been hitting those righty pitches. They weren't hitting righties for a while, the Astros. Now it seems like the last few weeks, last 30 days, whatever, their numbers are improved a lot with against righty pitchers. And Evaldi is a pitcher I like. First of all, the Rangers, I agree with you 100%. I think they're one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're better than the Braves. That's a discussion to have. And to me, that says a lot about the Rangers to compare them to the Braves. Because the Braves have proved it now, a year in and year out. They're proving that they are a formidable team.
Right.
Evaldi, though, seems to, and he's a pitcher I love, but he which is a little bit strange. His ERA on the road is better than his home ERA. His home ERA is 3.46, which is a little higher than his road ERA. And Brown, another guy, he was pitching good, and then he had a couple outings that weren't so great. But his last outing was against the Dodgers. He went 6 innings, had 7 Ks with only 1 run. He let up. Then the bullpens went crazy, and the Astros ended up winning that game 6-5. But he had a good outing against a good Dodgers team. I mean, the Dodgers are always solid, and at the end of the year, the Dodgers are always there.
Then in the playoffs, though, they tend to
they're always there though, right at the end.
Crash, but they're always there.
Yep. Last 3 games, Valdo, last 3 starts, you might be surprised. 18 innings pitched, which is good. 6 inning average, but a 4.34 ERA and a 1.07 WHIP. So he must have got unlucky a little bit or let up some home runs, because he ain't walking many, and he's not giving up a lot of hits, but he still has a 4.34 ERA. 18. Oh yeah, here you go. 18 strikeouts but 4 homers. So that's why his ERA is up there and so much higher than his WHIP. That's a good way to tell, If you see a low WHIP and a high ERA, he got unlucky. There's some errors, or the errors wouldn't count, would be unearned. But we let up some home runs. He might have let up a 2-runner, 3-runner. That'll fuck up your ERA every time. That's why ERAs aren't so great to really go by. But they're a good general context. Anyhow, all that said and done.
You use WHIP a lot more.
Yeah, I use WHIP a lot more, without a doubt. All that said and done, I took the Astros team total over 3.5 minus 115. I think it's a great number. Team total over 3.5. I mean, I could see them losing a 6-5 game or winning a 6-5 game today. I see runs being scored in this game.
Pretty good lately.
Yeah, listen. I like both teams a lot. Texas Texas was rolling, and they were due for a little, as they call it, negative regression, which I just hate that word. Regression to me means negative anyhow. Negative regression, right. Positive regression, whatever. They're playing.
Regression is regression.
But I like that Astros team. I thought the solid, more of a solid bet was the Astros team total over 3.5. It was 115 when I took it, and why I didn't take the Astros to win, and I was leaning that way in case if Valdi just came out and was smoking, and that's and that could happen, right? So
I was just going to say that could happen. I was going to say it.
But I could see the Astros even in a loss getting at least 4 runs in. Both bullpens haven't been the best. Their bullpens have not been the best. So
that total has ballooned up, so it's minus 135 right now on you, AJ.
Is there a dome in that field in Texas? No, right? There's no dome there, right? In Texas Stadium?
They can open or close it.
There is a dome. I wasn't sure if there was one. I would think probably every Texas stadium you gotta have one.
Texas or in Texas. I don't know about Texas.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were talking about Minute Maid.
Yeah, I was trying to look up see if there was any weather issues.
Oh, it's hot as hell
that we could go over
all over the state.
But anyhow, there we go. I took that game. I took the Astros team total over 3.5. That's the game that I am on. Next game up. Next game. What do you have up? Next game. I just lost my page.
I got to play on those Brewers and Pirates.
Brewers Pirates. Yesterday I took the Pirates team total over 3.5 and won that game. I didn't take the game today. My theory on the Brewers is that I'm interested to see what you like on this game. The Brewers had a good series in New York. They beat the Mets. They won the series. But the Brewers have been on the road, man, and have done back-to-back series now 3 times. Right? They came into New York. They went from Toronto, I believe Toronto, or I'm not sure, but I think it's Toronto. Then the next night they had to play in New York, and they played a series in New York, and then they finished that series, and then yesterday started a new series in Pittsburgh. So that got to affect the team somewhat.
They were in Cleveland before New York.
Okay, Cleveland before New York. I knew it was a good team. So let me know what you're on with the Brewers. I don't have anything on this game.
I like the The total to go over here. Let me see what I got it at because I bet it
Give me
earlier this
that.
morning. Right now, it's currently at. Let me find the line.
Baltimore.
It's
Baltimore.
currently it's went up to a oh no, that's the Marlins. Hold on.
What the hell? Why don't I even have this game
Oh,
listed?
it's still at 8. So it's still currently at an 8.
Oh,
I
okay.
caught it at I took it at 8, and simply because
Oh, there it
even
is.
though the Brewers bats are terrible, they're batting 226 as a team. However, Oviedo is his he's been pitching. Let's just say he's been giving it up. Uh,
The total is
ERA
8.
at 4.
You got
Yeah,
8.
totals at 8.
Wow.
Right.
I might be jumping on that myself.
It's still currently at 8.
Wow.
Even though he pitched well in his last two outings, he pitched decent. He went
Uh
well
huh.
last outing he pitched good actually. 7
Yeah.
innings, one error, and
Uh
then
huh.
6 he went 2. Um, and then you got Burns on the other side. Both these guys ERAs at 4. Burns has been giving it up lately. He went 5, gave up 4. Before
Yeah.
that, went 5, gave up
Yep.
7. Before that,
Yep.
went 6, gave up 3. So both of these guys can give it up. Pittsburgh's been swinging the bats pretty good here lately. If I'm not mistaken, hold on, I'm going into my notes real quick. All of their, at least definitely in their last 5 games, everything's went over an 8. 4 out of the last 5. 8-7
Right.
was the last game against the Brewers. In the San Diego series, every game went over 8. One would have pushed the middle game. And then we get to the Brewer side of things, and I think 2 of their last games went over, but that last series was against the Mets. The Mets ain't been really swinging the bat too well. Dommy can tell you all about the Mets, but I love the 8 here. I'm just thinking
Yeah.
both pitchers are going to give it up to us today. So I mean, I just jumped on it as soon as I saw it. Nate, what up, guy?
Nasty, nasty. What up, Nate? Happy 4th of July, brother. He's another guy that I got to get these guys on camera, man. He's another one that's been
Nate does
around. You've
not
been
do
around
shows.
100
I
years,
tried to get
Nasty.
Nate.
Come on,
I
man. Nasty's
tried
one
to
of the
get Nate on
OG
the show.
OGs with me. He's been back. He's been. Got to
And
get his ass
also,
on camera.
seven of the
Go
last
ahead.
8 games when playing on the road against Pittsburgh have went over for the Brewers.
And let me tell you, and I'll just back up everything you're saying. I'm probably going to tail that play. And I kind of just glazed over it for some reason. But the last three games they pitched, which is something I like to compare to. Burns, 16 innings pitched, so he only went 16 innings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's still an average of 5.5 an inning. His
Right.
last 3 games, 7.56 ERA, which goes to
Terrible.
what you were just saying about what it was giving up.
14
His
runs
whip
given
was
up.
1.68. So that's when you go over 1.50, like over 1.5, you're starting to get close to 2 walks or hits per inning. Jesus, that's a lot, right? Just
I
think
got to
about
get
it.
on whip. So whip is highly important. You
Yep,
just all
14
right.
Ks, 3 home runs. Burns, Oviedo, 17 innings pitched his last 3.83 ERA, and a 1.15 whip. 17 Ks, 2 home runs. So he's definitely pitching better than Burns, but I could see them. I could see what you're saying. Both teams. Uh, yeah, Pittsburgh's on an over. Last 2 games went over, and they won the last 4 games, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
4 in a row.
Um, and one thing I can tell you about Oviedo also, just to boast your play up, is teams are batting 275 against them. So that's, you get closer to
Good.
300. I
You get
mean,
close to
300.
300.
Everybody wants to hit 300, right?
Right.
So there you go. That's a good play. And I'm gonna
Yes, sir. I
let's see
appreciate
where
it.
this goes, bro. Over 8. Wow, nice one. Next game, you got a.
Next game I have
What do you
up.
have up?
So this one might be a little bit, a little questionable. We're going to the Marlins and we're going to the Braves.
They did the okay.
The
Well,
one
well,
big boy
well.
baseball. Yeah,
Anderson. I
we're going
mean,
big. We're going big boy baseball.
old man is pitching today, right? Charlie Morton.
Mort,
Charlie
talk
Morton
about Mort
against my boy Perez, right? Perez is
against
a little
Perez.
tricky. Yeah,
Yuri,
Yuri's a tricky
Yuri.
because Yuri's a young guy,
Look,
and Yuri's a type of pitcher that you got to watch after the second in the after the All Star break. With these young pitchers,
right.
when they start getting a lot of innings under their belt, they're not used to that, and it could be that sometimes a good team will start
Grind.
limiting things like that and give him a little rest in here. But listen, they pitch him today. They probably don't have to pitch him again until after the All Star break in theory. So and you see you see that happening in the last few games before the All Star break. Sometimes they'll sit down a big starter and and give him a
Is that
rest
because
like they
it's a
should do with
long?
Alcantara. Right?
Let me ask you that. Is that
Go ahead.
because it's like a so? Is that because young pitchers,
They're
the
not used to
grind
this
of the
long
long
season.
ML,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Our arms
Yeah.
get
They're
tired.
not used to a 162 game season in the big
Right.
leagues. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. So a lot of times you see that, like the Braves, they shut down Strider. Well, I don't
Right.
think it was last year; it was the year before that. Things like that. And so you got to watch your young pitches. But he's a good pitcher, man. I like Perez. I backed him a couple times this year.
Right.
I like him a lot. But talk to me about this game.
Yeah. So just like you have, I have backed Yuri a lot, and I am going to continue to back Yuri in this spot. I mean, the kid is just he's just been amazing. What is there? What more can we say? 5-1. Let me get to his notes real. 5-1, 1.34 ERA. Last three starts, he's went 6 and he's given up 0 ERA,
Yeah.
no earned runs. And since my man Dommy over here loves whip, Whip is under 1 in his last 3 starts, 0.83 in his last starts, 0.50 and 0.50 in the
Yeah.
2 starts before that.
0.61 is the total. But you just said, yeah.
So
You're right
the
on
play that I made, however,
Uh-huh.
the play, and yes, we are going against and Mort, and I love Mort. I didn't like when Houston traded him to Tampa a few years back because he was dealing. However, I'm just back. I'm getting plus money. I know the Braves are. We just talked about how good the Braves are. One of the arguably the best team in baseball. But to get Perez at this price, it's strictly it's not, I don't want to say strictly a value bet, but I mean, it's a great value bet. The kid has been dealing. We're still early in the season, as Dommy mentioned. We're not in the back half of that season where young
No.
pitchers tend to break down. So his arm is still going to be strong. He's still got great stuff. And I took the plus money. I'm trying to see exactly what it is right now at this moment, but I got it for plus money earlier this morning.
24 strikeouts his last 3 games. More than 23 strikeouts his last 3 games.
It's plus
Um,
130 right now.
yeah.
Still.
Yeah, listen, I can't fault you for that play. That's I mean, I couldn't see myself getting to the board taking Atlanta with Charlie pitching. I like the Marlins, man. Like I said Thursday, I had a lot of everybody. The line was going against me too, but I like the Marlins on Thursday against the Red Sox, and then it was just. And in that game against the Red Sox, and it stayed under 9, thank God. Also, that game. Oh, actually, no, the line didn't move against me. Actually, that was a game where the Marlins went from dog to favorite. I bet it at even money. They opened up at like plus 115, and they got bet down, which is a tip that I use a lot. Is when a team goes from dog to favorite. I love that. I
Right.
just love that move, especially when it's
Hey,
a small move. When the move is like 120, 115 to like even, I love that. When there's a team that's that's plus 190 and they get down to plus 170, that move to me doesn't mean much because people are just, it's just people betting big numbers. But when a move is like that, when it's, where the both teams are pretty even, and you see a move like that, it works pretty good. It's something that I like to use a lot.
Yep.
Teams are only batting 182 against Perez. Also, that's but it's the
Insane.
Braves. It's a tough one,
But it's the Braves.
yeah.
Hey,
Oh yeah,
Smokestack,
that's.
I like that bit,
I
Smokestack.
remember what I was saying. The game on Thursday that I was talking about with the Marlins. The reason why I brought it up is the kid Beto or Bayo, however you say his name. He had a no hitter going after 7 innings. Yeah, he was like he was crushing the Marlins, and I guess they brought in the. I didn't watch the game. I just seen the score afterwards, and they just read the box score, and they scored. The Marlins scored late and won the game. So anyway,
Don't you hate?
I like the
don't you hate it
Marlins
when
too.
you're
I'm
on
a
the
Marlins
side?
guy, without a doubt. What's up, comic Ricky? Ricky March in the house. When I talk about OG Lowbaggers, that's Ricky, man. Ricky's one of our guys we go on vacation with, and he's somebody I talk to off the air,
Comic
and
book Ricky.
a good friend Ricky. And we gotta have to. We'll get something together, man. My thought is Las Vegas in September when baseball and football, college and NFL are all going on, and that's what I'm shooting at, Rick. But we'll talk about it. There's a big bet. There's a big thing. There's a big bet cast. Bet fest. I think they're calling it. I think maybe Wager Talk is doing it. I'm not sure, but there's some big betting conference, handicapping conference type of thing. Something like we did at the IFBC years ago when I first met everybody. If I don't know if a lot of people even know what that was, but they're having this big handicapping thing conference or whatever you want to call it this in August.
Nice.
I'm gonna check more into it. Ski Profit mentioned something to me about it, and that was about a month ago, and I totally forgot. And then yesterday I heard someone mention something about some big handicapping thing going on in Vegas in August. So, but August will be tough for me to get out there in August this year, like we were last year. But anyhow, I digress. Yeah, Rick, let me know when you're going in August. August is a little tough for me, but maybe not the end of August. Smokestack, what's happening, man? You on the first 5 on the Braves
On the
game?
mark.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. That's a tough game that's a tough total to play with. That's for sure. Next game up. What other games did you want? You won.
Those are my 3 plays.
Game. Is that your game? You were on that.
Those are my 3 plays that I got.
Okay, cool. So far I gave you the Astros and the Rangers, and I gave you. We talked about the Red Sox and Toronto. I gave you that. So the other 2, here they are. The games I'm on. The other 2 games that I am on are. The first one is the Twins against Baltimore.
Okay, the Orioles. Okay.
Yeah, the Orioles. I got the Orioles and the Twins. Twins are another team that, another reason why records don't tell you crap. The Twins, are ahead of their division, I believe still, and they have a record that's terrible.
Because they can't freaking hit.
The AL East in general has the most wins against non-division teams in the American League than any other division. The AL East is smoking teams out of their division. It's I forget what the number is, but it's very notable, the number, and it's something to keep your eye out on. Just another box to check. I check boxes. If I could, I try to check, this boom, 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 boom. But yeah, I worry about Verl. I worry about damn Verlander. You know what? They took him out again He pitched good his last inning, but they take him out after 5 innings, and then we blew the game. I'm not sure what I took him out after 5. I don't know if he's having issues, if they're trying to limit his arm for now. We're in no position to limit anybody's damn arm.
No,
you want to hear a crazy stat? Here's a crazy stat for you, Verl. Here's a crazy stat for you. The Mets, when their starters go 6 innings, we won 27 games. We lost 4.
Oh.
Okay? Now, but what else does that stat tell you? Our guys ain't going 6 innings. That means we've had 30-something games or whatever the hell it is that we didn't go 6 innings.
Right.
So that that stat sounds great, but look at the reverse of that. It was something you got to look at with stats. Look at the reverse of that. The reverse of that is that we're not going 6 innings. So,
Right.
but isn't that amazing? When we're going 6 full innings, we're winning like a crazy amount of games. Bizarre, bizarre. Shows you how bad the fucking bullpen is. Why'd you got to get me started with the Mets? No, I hear you. I hear you. I took the Mets. I've been laying off the Mets the last couple of days.
Straight up viral video. That's exactly what this is.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, yes, yes. And that's how you break down the stat right there. You read the stat. You not don't go after what the stat's saying. Look at what's behind that stat. How'd that stat get there? A lot of times you look at the reverse. You're there. Oh, you're from Comac. I'm in Franklin Square, bro. I'm right. I'm right by. I'm 2 miles from Belmont. Yeah, right off. Right off the Southern State Parkway, like exit 16. Oh, so we gotta get together. And I didn't know you were close. My sister lives out in Kings Park. I go out there a lot. All right. Anyhow, Twins versus Baltimore. Ober's a good pitcher. He's a little bit up and down. He don't walk many. If you look at his log, man, he's had a bunch of quality starts. He does have a lot of strikeouts, but Baltimore's not a team that strikes out a lot. And I like Bradish. By that statement right there, it tells you that I like Baltimore. I took them at the -140. I'm sure it's higher now, but I like Baltimore today. Ober, like I said, Ober's been a little bit up and down. He has some really good numbers and stuff, but he has been up and down. And the Brewers and the Red Sox both tagged him for a couple home runs last time.
The line is currently -138.
Okay, I got it at -140 on BetUS, so it hasn't moved really. And I can see people trying to back Ober, but the line didn't move enough for me to be worried about it. Bradish, last 2 outings, 15 strikeouts. One was away, one was home, one was against the Rays, one was against the Mariners. I think the Rays was home. I don't know which one was which, I forget. But those 2 innings, he had less than 4 earned runs were given up in the 2 combined. It was less than, the number was 3.9, whatever the hell it was. And at home, he has pitched 35 innings, 35 and 2/3, with a 3.03 home ERA. In those 2 outings, 12 innings. 12 innings, 4 earned runs, 15 strikeouts against the Rays and his Mariners last 2 times. Last time he pitched home, he pitched well. He has a 3.03 home ERA. I like Baltimore. They're a hitting team. They play well at home. I could go, say a lot of things about how good Baltimore is. Teams are batting .242 against Baltimore. Let's see what teams are batting against the Twins. But I like Baltimore today. I think they're a good bet, and we'll see if Baltimore can continue in the second half of baseball. I'm not sure if they got the pitching to do this. I mean, these guys got to step up. They don't have that big name, but and Cole Irving is 1-3. Rodriguez just started really. He's 2-2. Oh, so he has 4 starts. So those guys haven't pitched much. Dean Kremer 8-4. Gibson 8-5. Bradish 4-3. Tyler Wells 6-4. So they got guys that are pitching. Kremer's innings are getting up there, 91 innings. But they got guys that are pitching well, and I like Baltimore. We'll see if their bats are what's keeping them in it though. Is their bats,
Yeah, I lean over in this game. I didn't take it. Probably because I was on Baltimore yesterday with Creamer.
Right. And I agree with Gerald. Thanks for coming in, Jay.
Yeah. So I like the bounce back.
I like the bounce back, yeah.
Sometimes.
No, I like it today. I don't like bounce backs in general. Just for today, I like the bounce back. What was that?
And I do like Bradish.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't like, if it ain't, I don't really follow like teams like if, when they lose this amount, they don't win that, I mean, that happens. Right. That's kind of coincidence, like the stuff that happens. But listen, just because it's coincidence, you can't fall off it. That's for sure. I forgot which team it was. That it might have been Baltimore. Oh yeah, it is Baltimore. Now that you mentioned it, Baltimore has a very good record of not losing. When they lose 2 games, they got like some phenomenal record that they don't lose the third game. They've only done it like once or twice all year long. They have some really good record, down 2, and they do bounce back pretty good. Now that you mentioned it, but the reasons why teams do that, I don't know. Like maybe it's the way the pitching was lined up. Not really sure, but I took Baltimore minus
Right.
140. I'm hoping for a good start. And the last game I'm on is the team that's done me so well this year. It's a team that we didn't think maybe was going to do that good. I'm not sure if I could back them so much in the second half, but that's the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh
I
yeah.
really like this team, man. They've been pitching well. They've been hitting well. They're playing against. They're winning games that they didn't win last year. They're not giving up late losses. They got a good pitching staff. They got Kelly 9-4, Zach Allen's 10-2. Even though he's a little weird, a Gallon. Tommy Henry is pitching better. They got a pretty good staff. Zach Davies, I don't know what's going on with him.
Right.
And then I guess Bumgarner got hurt or whatever. That was probably the best thing that could have happened, I
I was gonna
guess.
say that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. But anyhow, the starting staff for the D-backs, they have like a 4.38 ERA, 1.34 WHIP as a team, and which is about average. Around 4 earned runs is kind of like average for a team staff. 2.5 a 251 opponent batting average against the starters, and the team batting average for D-backs is 263. Why I liked the Diamondbacks and not LA mostly is because Nelson. 83 innings pitched, almost a 5 ERA, ticking up to a 5, 1.45 whip. And besides LA lost 3 in a row, they split a series against the White Sox. Listen, the Angels are one of those teams, man, again, always and year out. I'm not a prop guy, Verl, but I hear you, and you don't want to even hear
Right.
my next statement about Otani. So I make people crazy with my theory on Otani. But you can never go wrong. You can never go wrong with any kind of betting with Otani, right? You can't really go, but. And part of my rant about Otani is that they ain't making the Angels any better. This team, year in and year out, underperforms.
That's
They
true.
got Otani and Trout. I keep on saying it. He's a stat. It's just stats. It's amazing what he's doing. It's like, but the sideshow got to end sooner or later. I personally believe he's going to need to make a decision sooner or later. How long is his body going to last, too, with hitting and with pitching? When's that ACL going to get torn? Otani, what he's doing again is amazing, and he's young, and he's a monster. And yes, I mean, people are like, do you want him on the Mets? I mean, I wouldn't be crying if he came to the Mets, but what we would have to give him, I don't know if that. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a discussion for another day. But back
Five
to
hundred million.
getting back to, and I'm not trying to disrespect Otani and what he's doing.
500
I just don't know how long it
million.
could last. And if he picked one, how dominating would he be? If he just started pitching or just started hitting, I mean, how dominating would he be? Can he do this for another 3-4 years? He's going to get a 10-year contract from somebody. Do you think
Yeah,
he's going to be
sure.
pitching and hitting for the next 10 years?
No,
No
he's probably
way
gonna
possible.
pitch, man,
No
for
way.
sure.
No way. But I mean, like maybe not stop pitching, but maybe pitch a lot less.
Yeah.
Something like that, or
Not be a full time
DH a
starter.
lot. Right, DH more than you play in the field, and whatever. Anyhow, getting back to this game, I took the D-backs plus 107. I don't know what the line is now. Maybe you
I
can
can
look
tell
that
you.
up for me.
Plus 105.
Okay, I got it at plus 107. Otani, by the way, just for respect, 67 RBIs this year, or already 67. But Anderson is the reason why I don't really like Anderson. He has a 5.52 ERA, 74 innings of work, a 1.50, a 1.50 WHIP, and let's go to the LA Angels here for a second, and let's just see what he is doing as far as where is Nelson? Nelson. Jesus. Not Nelson, Anderson. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm saying Nelson. Nelson's pitching for the Diamondbacks. Anderson is the one who has a
Mr.
1.545 whip,
Anderson.
74 innings work, 5.52 ERA. Anderson's last 3 starts, 17 innings, 5.29 ERA, 1.35 whip, 22 Ks. Now, Nelson hasn't pitched that good either the last 3. So this might be an over. And what's the total on this game? Might be 10, right?
I know it is
506
bad.
ERA with a 1.44 whip. So, Nelson's going to have to pitch a little bit better. Like he was pitching okay, but his last 3 haven't been great. But I kind of like him today. I don't like the Angels. I don't back the Angels much. I don't like the Angels much. I can tell you that if you look at the ballpark factors and shit like that, the Angels, which I was surprised at, rates as one of the higher run-scoring stadiums. So a lot of home runs are hit there. And the Red Sox was another one, and the Yankees were another one that I came across when I was looking at stuff. But yeah, Tyler Anderson, teams are hitting 274 against him. He has his expected ERA is 5.39, so that's not good. Just while I have it up here, let's see what is Ohtani's pitching stats. 7-3, 16 games started, 95 innings pitched. That's high. He's pitched a lot
That's
of
a lot.
innings. That's high, and that's goes to my theory a little bit. How you doing, Eric? Good seeing Eric, man. Eric, the OG Lowbag is stopping in today, man. Love seeing that. I appreciate that, Eric. Eric and me have been capping in the same shows for a long time, man. 3.02 ERA for Ohtani, and his expected ERA is even lower. Let's see. There's a strikeout rating that I look at, and 100 is average. His is 155, so he's up there. Teams are batting a 179 against Ohtani. Wow, that's impressive. I don't know what I don't know. It's impressive. I get it, but you see what I'm saying? If for me as a Met fan, I don't want to give him 10 years. That's what he's going to want. That's what he deserves. But I don't want to give. But I also don't think that Ohtani would. I don't know. I can't see him on the East Coast. I really don't see him leaving the West Coast. He's probably going to be a damn Dodger.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay in the West Coast.
He's a West Coast guy. I don't know. It seems that way. Listen, I could be totally wrong. And believe me, I won't be bitching if they decided to sign him as a Met. But let's put it this way: I don't want to see him in a Yankee uniform.
I was going to say, would you care if he wound up a Yankee?
Yes, I would. I don't want to see him in a Yankee uniform. Even though he fits, if you think about it, he probably fits better with the Yankees than the Mets. But in theory. But anyhow, that's what we're on. Those are the games we're on. Molly, go over the games again that you are on, sir. And we'll wrap
the
it
games
up.
that I was on, we are on the over in the Brewers and Pirates game.
Over 8, right?
We are, yes, sir. I think it's
Okay.
still currently at an 8. Last I looked. We're
ahead.
also on. Hold on, I'm going into my pending bets. We're also on the Blue Jays on the money line. High, pricey, yes, I know, but I
It's only pricey if you lose.
right. Right. And then we took a shot on the first 5 with Yuri in the Marlins and Braves plus
Nice.
money line. It was at plus 130. Yes, I know we're going up against the Braves, and yes, I know Mortis pitching, but Yuri.
What was the Marlins line?
I got it at
plus 130.
Plus
Beautiful.
130. Just so much value.
It was the Brewers over 8. It was the Marlins plus 130. And what was the other one?
The Blue Jays money line.
Oh, Blue
Kikuchi.
Jays money line.
We're riding Kikuchi.
And that was 148 or something, you said? What was it?
150.
That's good. 150 is good. I just wanted to I just keep a little track. That's fine. That's great. That's great. Those are some solid bets. I hope people listen to where we're at. And what's good is that what's listening to other people is sometimes you pick things up even though you disagree with their bet. You pick something up that they said, and maybe it brings you off into another direction. Like for instance, like the Brewers game. If you were talking about a side, and you liked one side, I like another side, but then when you said made sense about the over, and just for information is always helpful.
Yes, sir. I'm definitely going to take whip into my capping a lot more consideration than what I've been doing.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I got a couple for you. I can help you out with a few of those type of things. I was just going on my BetUS site and see if there was any significant line changes. I'm on the Baltimore Orioles minus 140. I'm on the Astros team total over 3.5 minus 115. I am on the Blue Jays. Wow, Jesus! I'm on the Blue Jays team total over 4.5 minus 120, and I am on the Diamondbacks plus 107. Why I said, oh, Jesus, is there's lines going up and up to the Padres. Padres are minus 158.
That's insane.
I agree. That team total for the Reds is 4.5. It went from minus 120 to minus 125. Team totals don't really jump a lot. Team totals don't really jump a lot as far as price. It's not often. I mean, and you rarely see like a 4.5 turn into a 5 or 4 turn into a 4.5. I mean, it happens, but not as much. Not regularly. That 4.5 minus 125. I like playing team totals. Is definitely interesting. The first half team total for Cincinnati might really be interesting. I mean, Walker hasn't pitched in a while. Cincinnati is a friendly hitter's ballpark. It's hot there today. The balls fly out of that goddamn stadium anyhow. The total is at 11.5, so they're expecting a lot of runs, correct?
Yeah, 11.5.
Yep. So they got the team total for the Padres at 6. Which shows you what they think about the Reds pitcher, but they still got the Reds, at 4.5. Yeah. So what is the first half team total? Will probably be 2.5. The Reds at home, the Rangers at home, and the Rays at home about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't updated it since then. Were the best 3 teams to hit over 2.5. In the first 5. 2.5 is a pretty common number in the first 5. And those teams at home had real good records. The Reds were one of them. I mean, if you don't think Walker's going to be such a great coming out of the first start back, you get the Reds over 2.5 team total first 5 for minus 115.
That's what I'm looking at, minus 115.
Yeah, and I'm on it. All right, so I'm adding that play. I'm adding the Reds. First 5, team total over 2.5, minus 115. Locked it in. There you go. And that's it. That's it. What do you say, Verl? You can't post to some comments to some destinations. I don't know what you meant by that. That was a long time ago. He mentioned that. Let me see if there's anybody else. All right, Eric. Thanks for coming in. Just let me say a quick Verl video. Gerald Jones, Julian, Mally. Thanks for coming in, Mally. Smokestack, Comic Rick. Well, I'll be talking to you over the weekend. We'll have a little phone conversation. When I type in something, you see Who-Bangin and then DommyGun. That's me typing in something. It comes up twice. I have to get to my technical director, DJ Big Boss, to help us out with that one. Swift Horton. Thank you. Oh, yeah, we never got to that. We'll talk about that, Swiss. Alternate lines. I'm going to do some investigating, too, for you. Alternate lines, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be back next Thursday at 10 a.m. for Light It Up. I'll be back next Saturday for 10 a.m. Light It Up. Over the weekend, I am going to be around, so if there's any things popping up, maybe I'll throw out a couple plays, a couple video plays. Maybe me and Molly will get together. We'll see how we'll play. We'll play it by ear. We'll see what
I'll be on
happens.
you.
Tomorrow's Sunday. Maybe we have a couple good plays we can come together with. We'll see how it goes. But
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
where can I find you, Mr. Marley?
You can find me right there at Marley Bits. Wait, there it is. Right there at Marley
There it is.
Bits.
There it is.
My own channel at Brothers and Bets. Breakdown. Me and Coach the homie, we break down all sports. MLB, NBA, football, college football, all
Cool.
that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know that dude. I gotta definitely.
Yeah, you'll see him. So he doesn't
yeah.
do baseball. So you guys really want to see him till
Yeah.
we start college.
Yeah,
But
no,
we're
there's a
gonna
bunch
do-
of guys we know that don't do baseball that aren't the biggest. Like me, I don't do NBA. Like
Right,
even we
right.
even have a show. We have our live sweat Who-Bangin. They were doing the NBA all year. Ix Nizzle and Jimmy Gomez. I really didn't go on the show because I don't
know
do
Jim-
NBA.
I know Jimmy G. I know
Yeah.
all of Who-Bangin.
I know you know.
Boss is
I'm
good.
just saying it for the people
yeah,
out there.
yeah.
I know you know. But I don't even bet the NBA, so I'm not the biggest live
crazy.
player on the fly. I think live betting is a real. I think it's like parlays. They look better than it is. It always looks easier when you're putting a live bet in, and I don't know. I could 100% say that if my live record is definitely negative. Definitely.
I don't know. I'm
I
looking down with it.
I could definitely say that if I took live betting out of my repertoire the last 2 years, I'd be up probably another 20 units. So that's for sure. That's for sure. It's got me, not got me bad, but it's got me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I hear
But
you.
anyway, let me get out of here. DommyGun Rici, you know where to find me. Who-Bangin Sports Talk. At Dom541. We're on Twitter. We're always doing something on Who-Bangin. Give us some love on Who-Bangin. Try to get this thing going, and we're coming into some classic Who-Bangin territory when football starts. I mean, we got DJ
sir.
Big Boss for the college football and company, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, hope Big Ragu and a bunch of the guys. NBA will be there soon enough. Before you know it, Wham will be back rocking the NBA. The NFL, we all play the NFL. For me, in my lifetime, I'm probably about even with the NFL. Not my greatest sport. Tough ass sport to play, but we all love
Toughest
it.
sport to
We
cap
all
out of
love
all
it.
of them.
Tough sport to beat, but we all love
Yep.
it. And I know a lot of us in that whole low bag family do beat NFL. So that's for sure. But we'll be doing a lot of that stuff, and hopefully, and then college basketball will start before you know it, man. And I had a good year
Yeah.
last year. My first year really doing well in college basketball. Only my second year really capping it. I really capped it a lot this year for the first time. Parlay Tees helped me out a lot with some different approaches, and it seemed to do good. So hopefully that ends up. But we are in baseball season. It's going to be the All-Star break. We're going to have a great second half of the year. I don't see any team running away with it. We see the Rays falling a little bit. We see the Texas Rangers falling a little bit. Listen, anything could happen. I think the Pirates at the end of the game ain't going to be there, but I'm looking at the Pirates as last year's Orioles. They're going to be a spoiler team. They're going to be teams that they shouldn't beat. I don't think they're going to be in the end. They might not be in the playoffs. I don't think they got the pitching. But the Pirates I look at as last year's Orioles. So keep that in mind. And we'll do something for the second half, give you some predictions, and hopefully we have a good year like we had the last three. Second half's been great for us, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, until then, this is DommyGun Rici. Light it up. Who-Bangin Sports Talk. See you soon. Thanks for coming in.